Welcome to Watch Symposium. I'm Austin. Do you like cheap Rolexes? I love cheap Rolexes. Here's the problem. There are none. I mean, the cheapest Rolex that you used to be able to get was a humble 6694. But those have even gone from 1,000 to 2,000. And now, pretty much any decent example is above $2,000, all right? And the days of cheap Rolexes, I don't know if they ever existed, but they certainly don't exist now. But there are deals to be had. You just have to look under the right rocks and in the right places. And I got an email today about one such opportunity. We're gonna keep this anonymous, all right? Because I'm just making this for fun. I don't wanna, I don't wanna seem like I'm calling the guy out. I'm not. I would be thinking the same thing he is, but we'll just keep it anonymous to, keep everybody happy. Hi, Austin. I'm 24 and have never bought a Rolex or a luxury watch. I want to buy this, but I'm unsure of the watch's authenticity. I have watched many of your videos and know that you are the guy to ask about the Explorer 2. Thank you, Mr. Anonymous. I appreciate that. The Cyclops lens is missing. Second-hand and 6-hour marker have fallen off within the case. If it is real, my concern is that the movement may have been tinkered with and may not even be in the case at all, as the price may be too good to be true. Should I buy this and have it serviced by Rolex? All right, well, here we have a watch. I mean, this is a bargain price, okay? This is 700 Australian, which is probably about 500 USD. And we have an Explorer 2. And look, let's just step back and look at the posting, all right? This is on eBay. It's a watch that goes for over 6,000 USD on the whole. And you're seeing it for 500 here. All right, but no red flags yet, right? Only 2 pictures, very dark, very out of focus, very bad. Bad for the buyer, great for the seller. And the seller, it's their first listing. They've never sold anything. They don't have any ratings, any history, nothing. But it's all right, it's all right. We're going with it, okay? And look, is it too good to be true? Yeah, and let's just look at this watch here, all right? And, all right, off the bat, here's some giant red flags. No Cyclops magnifier. I mean, that could have fallen off. It could have been replaced with an aftermarket crystal. Okay, I mean, it's possible. And then you have some uncharacteristic damage. I mean, the hands falling off, that's weird. And the 6 indice falling off. Okay, that's odd. Never heard of that happen. I mean, that's a really unlucky watch. Maybe Rolex just had a bad QC day, right? I can't help but think of the video I made one video ago, all right? I'll put a link in the description to that. It's about fake watches, okay? Not that we're talking about a fake watch here, okay? So, look, that's strange, all right? Now, if this was a real watch, then the seller is really selling themselves short, because they could take that to an RSC and it would be under $1,000 to get it back looking great, all polished up, if that's your thing, looking brand spanking new, functioning like the day it was put together. You'd have service papers, you'd have a nice pouch, and you wouldn't have to sell it for 700 Aussie. You could probably sell it for, I don't know, 8,000 Aussie, all right? So instead of selling it for 500 USD, you could sell it for a bargain price of just an even $5,000. Make, 3,000 plus and just be on your way, and the buyer would be a happy camper, okay? Everybody'd be happy. So anyway, I hear what this person is saying. I mean, you think that these opportunities are still out there. And 20 years ago, they might have pre-internet, but the internet has put everybody on the same page. It's really been a wonderfully educational tool for watch enthusiasts, yours truly included. And if a person can post something on eBay, an item, you best believe that they can Google it and find out the asking price and find out what a service would cost. And so even if it did look legit, it just doesn't pass the test of being just a reasonable post. All right, but we're not going to stop there. We're going to get into it. We're going to treat this like it's a real watch, which it is. It's a real watch. And we're going to look at it. We're going to break it down. And I'm going to throw out some things that I think were the red flags. Okay, now, first of all, let me say, and you're looking at it here, I just love the pictures. They're horrible. I mean, they're so strategically horrible. I've already mentioned that, but it bears repeating. And the case isn't half bad. You can't see the crown very well, and you can't see the crown guards. Now, the crown guards on Rolex cases are really tough to get right, apparently. And so that would be really, really great to be able to see that. They're in the shadows, all right? And the crown, and you can do a little comparison right here. The one on the right is real. Now, the crown looks a little bit different, but of course, the eBay item that we're looking at, it's at an angle, so it's really tough to tell. And again, the crown guards they're too much in the shadow, all right? But anyway, the case doesn't look bad. The case doesn't look bad, and looking at the numerals on the bezel, and nothing just screams, when you're looking at it side by side, you might think you see something. The 22 might look a little bit different, but it really doesn't look that bad. And if you didn't have an Explorer 2 right next to it, comparing it, I think the case, you really could be fooled by the case. And who knows, the case could be real. And if the case is real, it's actually probably worth more than 500 USD. My guess is the case is not real, all right? And my guess is the bracelet is not real either. Now, it looks like it has a hollow in-link bracelet. Okay, the one on the right that we're comparing it to has a solid in-link bracelet. And this is a Swiss-made watch we're talking about on eBay here. And so this would be a 1998 or later. But the hollow in-links, which it seems to have, I think, again, it's a real bad picture, then I guess this could be an A serial. We might be looking at an A serial from 1999 when it still had the hollow in-link bracelet, but they had switched over to the Swiss-made dial, and of course this would be a Holes case. Anyway, I just had to point that out. Is it a real A serial? If you took off the bracelet, would you find a serial number with A on it? Probably not, but hey, let's give it the benefit of the doubt. All right, we got to look a little bit closer. All right, now, there are many little red flags on this watch that, again, are hard to articulate, they're hard to point out, so we're not really going to talk about those. I'm going to talk about what jumped out at me, all right, because we can talk about what exactly is wrong there. And the first thing was the 24-hour hand. And on the original, it's got a thinner red part. That would be like the staff that goes to the triangle at the end. It looks to be a little thinner. The color's a little bit different. And the end of the triangle, it seems a little shorter than the original. Although when I look at them side by side, it's hard to, again, it's hard to see, but it just looks a little off. And I was looking at, the pictures side by side, and the authentic Explorer 2 has what's very close to an equilateral triangle. It's not quite. It does, taper down a little bit, but this eBay item tapers down a little more. So the 24-hour hand, it just looks off to me, okay? Now, a big one was the Swiss-made. Take a look at the Swiss-made at the bottom. And on the original, the 28, 29, 30, 31, and 32 markers are short, okay? And on the fake, the 29, the 30, and the 31 markers, minute markers, are short only, okay? So the 28 and the 32 are elongated. I've never seen that before. That's a huge red flag, all right? So that's easy to articulate, and that's shows me right there that something's up with that dial. But again, when you just look at it, it just looks a little bit off, okay? But you can really pinpoint it there. Also, look at where it says Rolex Oyster Perpetual. On the original, I keep saying original, I mean authentic, the R in Rolex, okay, it straddles the R in Oyster and the P in Perpetual. It's almost like, you know, the R is standing above and just straddling those two letters. Look at the eBay item. The R is positioned differently, okay? And again, easy to articulate, huge red flag there, and there you go. All right, another thing that I noticed on the fake, I'm sorry, we don't know it's fake yet. Okay, we're holding out hope. This could be the buy of the century here. All right, okay, so look at the 9 indice, okay, the rectangle, and look at the 45-minute marker. Okay, they're too close on the eBay item. And if you look at the authentic watch, there's a little bit more space between the two. And when it comes to those minute markers, all of the minute markers on the original, you can see that they go very close to the rehaut, but they don't quite hit it. But they do on the eBay item, and that gives them a real long, stretched out appearance. In fact, all of them appear to be going right under the rehaut, and none of them go under the rehaut on the authentic watch. And so that's another huge red flag. And I think that's enough. 3 strikes, you're out, buddy. Now, this is a little scary. I think ceramics are a little scarier because they are better. But still, this is an item where, you know, it could be better. We figured it out, but it ain't too bad. And let me tell you, if you can source a aftermarket pair of hands and dial, an Explorer dial, then, you know, we're talking a very passable fake. And what's going on in the interior of this watch, who knows? You know, one of the biggest red flags is the price, and the seller did that to themselves. I think if visually it was all right, you probably would want to put a price of like $4,000 on it. Like, okay, I just don't want to deal with it. You know, I could pay $1,000 and then sell it for $5,000, but I don't want to, so you can do that. I'll sell it for $4,000. It actually would make the listing more believable. I'm not giving him advice, I'm just saying. But there you go. Oh well. Hey, viewer, thanks for the email. I had fun with this, and you know, we're living in the age of, if it's too good to be true, unfortunately it almost certainly is. The best we can do is find reasonable watches out there. You know, good buy-in, non-polished pieces that maybe need a polish and need a service, and so they're a little bit cheaper. And they got box and papers, and maybe they're from the original owner. That's the best we can do, unless you get really lucky, and that's we're not looking at a listing where that's happening. This was fun. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think. Are you tempted? Hey, it's still for sale. Put a link in the description. You can mull it over, you know, 500 USD. It might not be a real Rolex, but it's a Rolex, and it's a way to put a Rolex on your wrist for under $1,000 bucks. All right, take care. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.